Hello fans, welcome back to the General Hospital Updates channel. Today, we will dive deep into the swirling drama of Port Charles as we uncover the latest twists and turns for Monday, June 9th. From Natalia Rogers Ramirez's spiraling troubles to Carly Spencer's fiery confrontations and Sonny Corinth's wise counsel, there's a storm brewing in our favorite town. Buckle up as we explore each storyline with fresh insights, expanded details, and intriguing new elements that will keep you on the edge of your seat. Natalia Rogers Ramirez. The desperate situation unfolds in the heart of Port Charles. Natalia Rogers Ramirez finds herself entangled in a web of her own making. After a heated altercation with her son left her emotionally shattered, Natalia turned to the bottle for solace. Unfortunately, her decision-making took a dangerous turn when she slid behind the wheel of her car, leading to her inevitable risk for driving under the influence. This isn't just a minor misstep, it's a full-blown crisis that threatens to unravel her life. As she sits in a cold, dimly lit cell at the Port Charles Police Department, the weight of her actions crashes down on her. She's not just facing legal consequence fines, potential jail time, and a tarnished record, but also the crushing realization that her relationship with her son may be irreparable. Sources close to Natalia reveal she's unlikely to reach out to her son for support, fearing his rejection after their bitter clash. Instead, whispers around town suggest he'll dial up Jen Sidwell, a man known for his deep pockets and shadowy influence. Their history is complicated. Natalia hinted in a recent conversation that she owes him a significant debt, perhaps not just financial, but personal. Could this be a favor from a past deal gone wrong? Jensen, with his neck for pulling strings behind the scenes, might be her only shot at navigating this legal mess. But at what cost? Rumor has it that Jen has been eyeing a piece of property near The Docks that Natalia inherited, and he might leverage her desperation to secure it. Will Natalia trade her family legacy for freedom? Or is there more to Jen's willingness to help? Carly Spencer Camper's flair and secrets unravel. Meanwhile, Carly Spencer is a force to be reckoned with as she storms through Port Charles with questions and accusations. Her latest target, none other than Jason Morgan. Carly's sharp instincts have led her to suspect that Jason was in on the elaborate baby lie concocted by Sasha Gilmore and Michael Corinthos. Now that the truth has burst forth like a dam breaking, Carly's fury knows no bounds. She corners Jason at the docks, her voice cutting through the salty air as she demands to know if he would have kept lying to her face had the secret not been exposed. Her eyes flash with a mix of betrayal and hurt. But there's a deeper layer here. Deep down, Carly might recognize that Jason's silence protected her from her own impulsive nature. After all, Carly's history of rash decisions, think of the time she publicly humiliated a rival at the Metro Court, have blown Michael's delicate situation sky high. Jason, however, the stoic protector, is likely to stand his ground in this heated exchange. Insiders suggest he'll remind Carly that this was Michael's story to share, not his. He might even throw in a pointed remark about how her tendency to meddle, while well-intentioned, often complicates matters. Imagine Jason leaning against a warehouse wall, his tone calm but firm, saying, "Carly, you know I've got your back, but this wasn't my call." Michael needed to handle this his way. Will Carly accept this reasoning? Or will her stubborn streak push her to dig deeper into Jason's loyalties? The Nina Reeves revelation, a dangerous game of truth. Elsewhere in Port Charles, Carly has dropped a bombshell that's still reverberating through the town. In a heated confrontation at the Quartermain mansion, she revealed to Drew Quartermain that Nina Reeves was behind the sinister plot to have him drug-gate Askeem that nearly cost him everything. Drew's reaction is one of stunned silence, followed by a slow burn of anger. Picture him pacing the living room, his jaw clenched as he processes the betrayal. He's determined to confirm this accusation, and sources say he'll confront Na directly at her office, where the tension will be so thick you could cut it with a knife. Na, caught off guard, is expected to confess under the weight of Drew's piercing gaze, admitting her role in the twisted plot. But here's where things get murky. Nay isn't just going to roll over. She's rumored to warn Drew that exposing her actions could backfire spectacularly if he weaponizes this truth to turn Willow Tate against her. They both risk losing Willow's trust forever. There's a tangled web of connections here, including a surprising link to Portia Robinson, who may have unwittingly played a role in the fallout of Na's scheming. Could Portia's involve a men, perhaps? A misplaced trust in Nina during a medical consultation come to light if Drew pushes too hard? And what other secrets might surface if this Pandora's box is opened? Drew's decision could either be his revenge or his ruin. And Na's desperate plea for a truce might be the only thing standing between them and total chaos. Tsunani Corinthos, a voice of reason amidst the storm. Finally, in the aftermath of a contentious hearing that has left the Corinthos family reeling, Tsunani Corinthos steps in with a rare piece of sage advice for his son, Michael. Their recent reveal about Sasha Gilmore has cast Michael in a harsh light, painting him as someone who's kept monumental secrets from those closest to him. The court of public opinion in Port Charles isn't kind, and graffiti on the walls of local businesses. Reading Michael's lees shows just how much damage has been done to his reputation. Sonny, with his decades of experience navigating family feuds and legal battles, believes a compromise is the only path forward. He's likely to invite Michael to a quiet corner of his coffee warehouse away from prying eyes to lay out his vision for peace. Tsunani's perspective is shaped by years of balancing power and family. He might recount a story from his early days running the territory when a bitter rivalry was resolved, not with fists, but with a handshake over a shared bottle of whiskey. Sometimes, "Kid, you got to let go of the fight to win the war," he could say, his voice growly with wisdom. Michael, still reeling from the emotional toll of Willow's involvement in Sasha's delivery, may find himself more receptive to this olive branch than ever before. There's a chance he'll see Sonny's point that dragging out this conflict will only hurt everyone more. But will Michael's pride allow him to step back? Or will the wounds of betrayal push him toward a more confrontational path? The bigger picture in Port Charles. As these individual dramas unfold, there's a palpable sense of unrest in Port Charles. Natalia's legal battle could set a precedent for how the town handles personal crises clashing with public accountability. Carly's relentless pursuit of truth might expose more than just Jason's loyalty skull. There be other secrets she's yet to unearth. Drew and Na's dangerous stance of confessions threatens to upend the fragile balance of power among the town's elite, while Sonny's push for compromise might be the only thing keeping the Corinthos family from fracturing beyond repair. Next, we will explore the bittersweet farewell of a beloved character as Jonathan Jackson prepares to exit his role as Lucky Spencer. With Lai's departure confirmed for the week of June 9th to 13th, Port Charles is bracing for an emotional goodbye. We'll delve into the reasons behind his exit, the impact on his loved ones, and the missed opportunities during his return, while adding fresh details and imaginative twists to paint a vivid picture of this pivotal moment. Join us as we unpack every layer of this departure with new perspectives and intriguing possibilities. Lucky Spencer's departure, a journey beyond Port Charles. In a turn of events that has tugged at the heartstrings of longtime fans, Lucky Spencer is packing his bags and bidding adieu to Port Charles. After a heartfelt yet unsuccessful marriage proposal to Elizabeth Baldwin, Lucky has come to a profound realization about his place in the world. Elizabeth, with her gently yet firm honesty, helped him see that the quaint streets of Port Charles no longer hold the allure they once did. Instead, Lai's soul yearns for the open road, the thrill of uncharted territories and adventures that await beyond the horizon. Picture him standing at the edge of the docks at sunset, the breeze ruffling his hair as he gazes out with a wistful smile. Dreaming of distant lands, perhaps a humanitarian mission in a remote African village or a treasure hunt in the jungles of South America. The idea of Elizabeth joining him on this nomadic journey was briefly floated, a romantic notion of shared escapades under foreign skies. However, Elizabeth's roots are deeply embedded in Port Charles with her family, a tight-knit circle of friends, and a fulfilling career at General Hospital anchoring her to the town. Uprooting her life would mean sacrificing her happiness, just as staying would Dimley's restless spirit. Their decision to part ways, though laden with sorrow, is a mutual acknowledgement of their divergent paths. As Lucky prepares to leave, he's embarking on a poignant farewell tour, stopping by familiar haunts like Kelly's Diner to share a last cup of coffee with old friends and reminisce about the wild days of youth. A disappointing return, missed. Opportunities in Lie's storyline. Jonathan Jackson's 9-month return as Lucky Spencer was met with high anticipation. But sadly, it has left many fans feeling underwhelmed. While seeing Lucky back on screen was a nostalgic treat, the storyline failed to capitalize on his dynamic past. Where were the high-stakes adventures or the deep soul-searching conflicts that defined Lucky in earlier years? Imagine if the writers had woven in a plot where Lucky returned to uncover a long-buried family secret tied to his father. Luke Spencer, perhaps, a hidden ledger revealing a forgotten debt to a dangerous underworld figure pulling Lucky into a thrilling mystery. Instead, his time in Port Charles felt like a series of uneventful check-ins lacking the spark that could have reignited fan fervor. The consensus among viewers buzzing on social media is that the show squandered a golden opportunity to explore Lie's growth as a character. A storyline involving a clash with a new rival at the Port Charles Police Department, mirroring his father's rebellious streak, could have added Gritto his arc. Or perhaps a tender subplot where Lucky mentors a troubled teen at the community center, reflecting on his own turbulent youth, could have deepened his emotional resonance. Now, as his departure looms, there's a lingering sense of what could have been. Yet, there's a silver lining. Lie's exit doesn't close the door entirely. The possibility of future guest appearances keeps hope alive for fans who cherish his presence in Port Charles. A producer's farewell and an open invitation. Amidst the wave of disappointment, GH executive producer Frank Valentini has shared a gracious statement about Jonathan Jackson's exit. "We were overjoyed to have Jonathan bring Lucky back to life, even if only for a short chapter," Valentini remarked. "We're sending him off with our warmest wishes for success in his future endeavors, and we want him to know that Port Charles will always welcome him with open arms." This sentiment underscores the deep appreciation for Jackson's contributions, painting a picture of a collaborative and supportive environment behind the scenes. Imagine Valentini and Jackson sharing a quiet moment on set after the final take, exchanging a handshake and a promise to reunite someday with crew members applauding in the background. This open-door policy fuels speculation about potential returns. Could Lucky pop back into town during a crisis involving his mother, Laura Collins, perhaps to help resolve a political scandal at City Hall? Or might a dramatic event like the awakening of Lulu Spencer from her coma draw him back for a tearful family reunion? The possibilities are endless, and the thought of Lucky riding back into Port Charles on a motorcycle, leather jacket, and all is enough to keep fans daydreaming. Breaking the news to N, a father's heartfelt dilemma. One of the most gut-wrenching aspects of Lie's departure is the conversation he must have with his son, Anne. Lucky is reportedly dreading this moment, fully aware of the abandonment issues that have lingered in Aiden's heart due to his father's frequent absences. Picture Lucky sitting on the edge of Aiden's bed in their cozy home, surrounded by posters of superheroes and model airplanes, struggling to find the right words. Each sentence feels like a weight, knowing that this goodbye might echo the pain of past farewells. Ian, now at an age where he's beginning to question his father's choices, might respond with a mix of silent resentment and desperate hope for connection. Elizabeth, ever the pillar of strength, has devised a gentle strategy to ease the blow. With summer break in full swing, she suggested that Ian spend an extended vacation with Lucky, embarking on a father-son adventure. Envision the duo setting off in a beat-up RV, mapping out a route to national parks along the West Coast, where they'll fish in serene lakes, roast marshmallows under starlit skies, and share stories that bridge the gap between them. This journey could be a healing balm, giving a cherished memories to hold on to, and Lucky a chance to show his commitment as a father, even if from afar. Will this trip mend old wounds, or will it highlight the distance that persists between them? The ripple effects on Lai's loved ones. As Lai's final episode approaches, the emotional fallout will reverberate through his family and friends in Port Charles. Laura Collins, his steadfast mother, is likely to mask her sorrow with a brave smile as she hosts a small farewell gathering at her home, complete with photo albums and homemade pie to reminisce about simpler times. Behind closed doors, however, she might confide in a close friend about watching her son drift away once more. Lulu Spencer, though still in a coma, remains a silent presence in Lai's heart. Perhaps he'll visit her bedside at General Hospital, whispering promises to return if she ever wakes, his voice cracking with emotion. Other characters like longtime friend Nicholas Casadini might offer a gruff but sincere goodbye, eat the pier, recalling their shared escapades and unspoken rivalries. Even the younger generation, such as Aiden Spears, could feel the shift. With schoolyard whispers about Mr. Spencer leaving town again, the community's collective reaction will paint a tapestry of love, loss, and lingering hope, reminding us all of Lai's indelible mark on Port Charles. Looking ahead, Lai's legacy and future teases as we gear up for Lucky Spencer's departure during the week of June 9th to 13th. The ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel is committed to keeping you in the loop with every update on his final scenes. How will his loved ones cope with the void he leaves behind? Will there be unexpected twists in his last days? Perhaps a mysterious letter from an old flame arriving just as he's about to leave, sparking second thoughts. And what are your thoughts on Jonathan Jackson's exit? Did his return live up to your expectations? Or do you share the sentiment that more could have been done with his storyline? Lai's journey may be taking him far from Port Charles, but his spirit will linger in every corner of the town, from the graffiti on the old youth center walls to the quiet conversations at family dinners. Next, we will delve into the sizzling backstage rumors swirling around Jonathan Jackson's future as Lucky Spencer and how these whispers might intertwine with Rebecca Herb's iconic portrayal of Elizabeth Weber. The rumor mill in Port Charles is working overtime, and we've got a juicy scoop town pack with fresh details, creative spins, and imaginative additions. From potential exits to behind-the-scenes negotiations, we're diving deep into the possible fates of beloved characters. Join us as we explore every facet of this intriguing gossip with an expanded lens on what it could mean for the future of General Hospital. The rumor mill heats up. A mysterious sources sparks speculation. In the ever-dramatic world of Port Charles, the latest buzz isn't just on screen, it's behind the scenes, where whispers of major cast shakeups are making waves. A lesser-known General Hospital podcast whose reliability remains and tested in their realm of soap scoops has dropped the bombshell that has fans buzzing. While we approach this source with a healthy dose of skepticism given their improvement track record, their claims about Jonathan Jackson's tenure as Lucky Spencer have caught our attention. As journalists dedicated to bringing you the latest in soap opera news, we're compelled to explore even the murkiest of rumors, especially when they align with known timelines and past patterns. Remember, we were among the first to report on Kelly Monaco's exit rumors, which later proved true. So we tread carefully but boldly into this uncharted territory. This particular rumor isn't a standalone whisper. It's a complex tapestry of interconnected possibilities that could reshape the landscape of General Hospital. Picture a dimly lit coffee shop in Los Angeles where insiders might huddle over lattes, exchanging hushed tidbits about contract talks and creative directions. While we can't vouch for the podcast's credibility, the details they've shared resonate with enough plausibility to warrant a closer look. We're not here to alarm or upset devoted fans, but to lay out the speculation with transparency and care. So, let's peel back the curtain and examine the three-pronged rumor that's got everyone talking, and fusing it with new layers of context and hypothetical scenarios to enrich the narrative. Part 1. Jonathan Jackson's potential exit looms. The first piece of this multi-layered rumor suggests that Jonathan Jackson, who reprised his Rollies, the adventurous Lucky Spencer, on August 23, 2024, might be planning to exit General Hospital as early as August or September of this year. If true, this timeline would indicate that Jackson signed on for a concise one-year stint, a common arrangement for returning veterans in the soap world who wish to test the waters before committing long-term. Can you believe it's almost been a year since Ly's boots hit the cobblestones of Port Charles again? It feels like mere weeks ago that we watched him stride into town. His familiar smirk stirring up nostalgia at every turn, perhaps pulling up to Kelly's Diner in a dusty motorcycle, greeted by wide-eyed locals. This potential departure window of late summer to early fall lines neatly with the anniversary of his comeback, lending credence to the idea of a short-term contract. Imagine Jackson, in character as Lucky, standing on the pier during a poignant scene, gazing at the horizon with a suitcase by his side, hinting at another journey beyond poor Charles Mayacall to aid a humanitarian cause in a far-flung corner of the world. While this exit remains unconfirmed, the timing fits like a puzzle piece, suggesting a planned arc that could wrap up Ly's latest chapter with either a heartfelt farewell or a cliffhanger promising future returns. Fans are already speculating on social media about whether this goodbye, if it happens, will involve a dramatic twist, perhaps an unresolved conflict with a new rival in town. Part 2. A plea for more time from showrunner Frank Valentini. Diving into the second strand of this rumor. It's alleged that GH showrunner Frank Valentini is pulling out all the stops to convince Jonathan Jackson to extend his stay as Lucky Spencer until February of the following year. If Jackson's initial deal was indeed for 1 year, this proposed extension would tack on an additional 6 months, a time frame that's not uncommon in the fast-paced, ever-shifting landscape of daytime dramas. Picture Valentini in a sleek office at the GH studios, surrounded by scripts and storyboards, passionately pitching new plot lines to Jackson over a conference table laden with coffee and danishes. He might dangle the carrot of a juicy storyliner, perhaps Lucky uncovering a long-buried Spencer family mystery involving a hidden treasure map left by Luke Spencer. This rumored negotiation isn't just about keeping a beloved actor on board. It's about preserving a cornerstone of General Hospital's legacy. 6-month extensions are often a compromise in soaps, balancing an actor's personal commitments with the show's need for continuity. Imagine the creative team brainstorming ways to anchor Lucky in Port Charles' longer Maya health crisis that forces him to stay for treatment at General Hospital, deepening his bonds with family. While this extension remains in the realm of speculation, its plausibility stems from Valentini's known dedication toward retaining fan-favorite talent. If successful, this could mean more screen time for Lucky to explore and resolve tensions or embark on a redemption arc that fans have craved. Part 3. A Tangled Fate with Rebecca Herbst Elizabeth Weber. The third and most tantalizing part of this rumor ties Jonathan Jackson's potential decision to stay, or go directly to the future of Rebecca Herbst, who has portrayed Therasilient Elizabeth Weber for decades. According to the podcast's claims, Jackson's choice might hinge on whether Herbst remains with the show, suggesting a paired exit or retention off the iconic Lucky and Elizabeth duo. This speculation carries a heavy weight, especially given the soap's past treatment of Herbst, which hasn't always been favorable. Fans still recall moments when Elizabeth's character seemed sidelined, despite Herbst's powerhouse performance, like the time her role in a major hospital crisis was unexpectedly minimized. Envision a scenario where the writers propose a joint storyline to keep both actors engaged. Lucky and Elizabeth, despite their rocky romantic history, team up to tackle a personal tragedy, such as a threat to their son, Anne, from a shadowy figure tied to Ly's past adventures. Their shared mission could rekindle old sparks or solidify their bond as co-parents, giving both characters a compelling reason to stay in Port Charles. On the flip side, if contract talks falter, we might see a dual departure. Perhaps the pair leaving town together for a fresh start in a coastal town far from Port Charles's drama. Running a small art gallery inspired by Elizabeth's creative side. This rumor, though concerning, isn't entirely out of left field, as soaps often tie major exits to intertwine character arcs, and the Lucky Elizabeth pairing has a storied history that could influence such decisions. Why this rumor holds water? Connecting the dots. While we must tread lightly with unverified sources, several factors make this three-part rumor feel like more than just idle gossip. First, the timing of Jackson's supposed exit aligns with standard soap contract durations, reflecting a pattern seen with other returning stars. His comeback last August was a celebrated event, but the brevity of his presence on screen, often overshadowed by newer characters, might indicate a planned short arc. Imagine fans at a local viewing party murmuring over popcorn about how Lie's return hasn't packed the punch they hoped for, fueling theories of an early exit. Second, Valentini's rumored push for an extension echoes his track record of fighting to retain key talent, especially for legacy characters like Lucky, who carry significant fan bases. Picture him strategizing late into the night with writers, crafting a plot where Lucky becomes entangled in a Port Charles mob war, necessitating his presence through winter. Lastly, tying Jackson's fate to hers isn't far-fetched, given their characters' shared history and emotional weight their joint presence carries. A leak Nemo purely hypothetical from a casting meeting might hint at discussions of a power couple exit or renewal to capitalize on their chemistry. Together, these elements weave a narrative that, while not confirmed, feels plausible enough to keep us on edge. The fan perspective, and what's next. As we navigate this swirl of backstage intrigue, we acknowledge the passion of General Hospital's fan community, whose love for Lucky and Elizabeth runs deep. We're not here to stir a necessary panic, but to present the rumors as they stand with the hope of sparking thoughtful dialogue. What if Jackson does depart in August or September? Cool. A tearful farewell at the airport with Elizabeth watching through a window be his final scene? Or if Valentini secures that extension, might we see Lucky embroiled in a holiday-themed mystery? Come December? And what of Elizabeth's fate? Could her storyline take a bold new turn? Perhaps as a single mother facing a corporate scandal at the hospital if Herbs stay solo. Stay tuned to the ABC General Hospital Spoilers channel as we keep our ears to the ground for any updates on these rumors surrounding Jonathan Jackson and Rebecca Herbst. We're eager to hear your thoughts. Do you believe Lucky and Elizabeth might exit together? Or do you hope for a renewal that keeps them in Port Charles? Drop your opinions in the comments below and let's keep this conversation alive as we await official word on the future of the Sakarished characters. Here at GHS Spoilers, we're committed to bringing you every twist, whether on screen or off, with the heart and depth you deserve.